Okay, today we're going to try and calibrate how much each one of these different types of solenoids, which I have three, how much gas they will pass. All I'm going to do is set this up in the water, fill the container with water, and then give it one pulse and then read off the values. I pull the plug off the top of the syringe, put the plug back on. Now we have water in this container here. Put my inlet onto that. I'm just using balloon pressure on here. So we'll try our first one. So all I do is check for a pulse. Check the solenoid pulse off this one here. Check the pulse. When I get a pulse, I'll just open the port. That's giving me about 50 mils on that one. Okay, because of my concerns regarding pressurising with electric pumps or whatever, I decided I could try two balloons, so a double layered balloon. That's going to increase the pressure inside here. So I'm just going to check and see if that does increase the pressure. All we're doing is the same test and to see what it does, how much air we're going to get. So pressure on. Yeah, a fair bit come out the bottom, so I don't really know how to calibrate that, but that was a lot different, a lot more air. So that's definitely going to work as well. We're trying the 2000cc injector with the double skin of balloon gas, or double skin of balloon, which is higher pressure. Alright, double the pressure, we've got 50 cc's. Next thing today we're going to try and increase is the amount of output of the HHO gas. At the moment it's only running about 8 amps when it's running on 5 volts, so we're going to try and get that up to about 16 amps. So I'm going to increase the quantity of NaHO in this here and dissolve some more into it and see if I can get the voltage up. Just keep taking it up until we get the voltage correct on the gauge. Use the gloves, as this stuff is not good for you. Right, I'm going to have to replace or sock in this because, as you can see there, I've got raw metal in there and that's different voltage, so those two different voltages won't be good. If that touches there, we've got a big problem. So it's going to be a rebuild the whole generator. This is a modified HHO generator. Basically it's the same sort of system but without a sock, because as I seen this other day, the sock had started to fall to bits. So this has got 3 layers of fiberglass netting or fly screen wrapped around the internal section, and 2 or 3 layers or a couple of layers on the outside. Now you should get no current draw when you turn that on with it without any electrolyte. I did have a bit of a current draw. I worked out that on the bottom I'd only had 1 layer of a mesh, and it must have been getting, the wire must have been going through because it started to smoke and I was getting a current draw. So I put a bit of a balloon on top, on the bottom there, to insulate all that bottom section from that, which is a little bit thinner than the rest of the material. So we've got 5 volts, no amps. That means that's okay. So we have to turn that off. We'll get this on. I'll put some distilled water into the outer container, turn the power on, and just add HHO till I get the right amps that I require at 5 volts. Probably going to try and get 16 amps draw. Now we'll be handling our caustic. So we need to get our spoon ready. We need to get our gloves on, safety. So we'll turn our power on. Still no amps, that's indicating we have no electricity passing from the electrodes from the positive to the negative. So we'll get some of our caustic. I'll only put a little bit in the time so we can sort of, definitely not spilling the stuff, because it's not the best idea to spill any of this sort of thing. So straight away we see 0.2 of an amp current draw. That's with 1 teaspoon. So that's 8 amps. It's drawing about 8 amps now. So I'm going to put about the same amount in again, maybe a little bit less. Hopefully that's going to double. As you can see, we are generating HHO. There is some still in there, not getting in. I'm going to leave it at that for the time. We've got 12, we can always add more later. Now we've dissolved all of our HHO. We're drawing about 12 amps. So we'll just hook this up. One thing you don't want with your gas is to have it leaking anywhere. The HHO is quite explosive. You don't want leaking gas. Mine was leaking up around here, but you could be leaking here, 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 there, screws. So I basically, to test it, I basically got, that's a double balloon, an inner and outer skin, which is under pressure, pressurising the top here. And as you can see, that balloon has stayed up, and that's been on for a fair while. So we can move on and try and generate some HHO. I'm going to release the HHO from the hose. I'll put it straight on the joined it in. Okay, good. We might stop it at that because we've got to remember we've got twice as much gas in there now, so that's become twice as big as explosive. We have a flashback. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So good. Not too much gas in case. Going to try the new configuration and see what happens. Hopefully it won't flash back. Okay, out of gas. Okay, we're going to try again. We have had issues with spark plugs. Taken the insulation off the plug, I don't know if that'll help, but it seemed to be getting sparked there now, so we'll see what happens. Yep, well, that worked. So this is a 13 cell unit which has got positive, 5 neutrals and a negative in the middle. Then it's got another 5 neutrals and a positive on the other side. So that just gives us basically 6 cells and 6 cells. So that's hopefully the reason I want to go for that is to be able to use 12 volts. I want to be able to use 12 volts on this because I've got 12 volt batteries. I've got a windmill charging, and I've also got a couple of solar panels charging batteries, so I can use 12 volt batteries. Okay, we've got 0 amps, 12 volts, so that means we've got no shorts or that sort of stuff. I've filled up the water to the level that we're going to go for. We'll now open the caustic, and I'll just put a teaspoon in. I'll just see how difficult it is. I might have to change position to do it, but we'll see. Okay. That's drawing 4 amps there now at the moment. It's probably going to be close. $16. I don't know how it's getting 16 volts. Oh, it's only putting in 11. It's very strange. I've just blown the balloon up with atmospheric air, pumped it up. It's now pressurising the container here to make sure that we have no leaks anywhere, and it should maintain that pressure, which it seems to be doing just fine. So we're not leaking here, or anywhere else. Okay. She's drawing 19 amps now. Let's get a bit high. 19 amps. Yeah, she's getting hot. Okay, we're just going to try it with these size tips, which I think are a bit big. I have tips, but they're at the other location. This time make sure I put the headphones on. Okay, we'll try again. Hopefully that was just the spark died. The other spark plugs, I'm having some problem with the spark plugs.